Ford Fusion 2.3 liter valve cover gasket replacement. First thing you're going to want to do is blow any debris off with compressed air or a leaf blower if you're doing this at home and you're limited on resources. Next, I'm going to go ahead and get a 10mm socket on a hex driver and take this duct off of here that cools the alternator. It's held on with 10mm hardware. First one's a bolt right here, 10mm head, and a 10mm head nut right here. Take those off. There is another nut right here, right there. There we go. Next, I think I'm just going to go ahead and one more time just double check myself there. Make sure it's clean. Since you've got this battery cable right here, you're going to want to unplug the battery since you're going to be touching that and moving it around. But next, since I believe I have oil intrusion dripping down into the spark plug wells because of the valve cover gasket, I'm going to go ahead and pull the coils out and clean any oil out of the wells. I'm just pushing down on these release tangs and pulling back. There's also a connector in here you can unplug. Pull this back, and there's a release tang right up front here. You see that? Goodness. All right. It did feel like that moved a little bit counterclockwise, so I'm going to make sure that's tight. Yeah, it's loose. Ooh. Anyway, without further ado, 8mm head bolts right here. Take all 4 of these out, and you'll be able to rotate and pull the coils out. Ooh. Gotta pull that boot out of there now. Okay. Well, finally. The spring came out too. All right. You can see the oil down in there. Blow that out with compressed air. Yeah. All right, boys, with all those holes blown out, I'm going to go ahead and disconnect everything ouch that needs to be disconnected. Cam sensor. Get out of the way. It's a little tang you rotate. This pulls off. There we go. All right, now I'm going to go around with a hook tool, an interior trim tool, I'll show you, and just pop all these retainers off all the way around. Just kind of, like I said, just work my way around here and pop them up, just like that. I'll do one more blow function with the compressed air blow function because of all this debris that came off the harness. All right, once again, I've got all the harness retainers popped off the valve cover, so go ahead and get this cam sensor out of here. Clean that off. Okay, I just got the retainers pushed up out of the way where it's not touching the valve cover. At this point, I'm just going to go ahead and go around and unbolt the valve cover bolts. There's a couple in the middle here. There's some around the side here. 1 second, there we go. And right here, this is a stud, so you'll need a deep socket. Another stud. Stud. Okay, missed one right here. Loosen that one. With all the bolts loose, the valve cover's loose. It may be difficult to push it up around that VCT solenoid, but let's see how it goes. Oh, that's not hard at all. I'm used to doing Ford Focuses where it's really tough pulling this up, but all right, that's above the VCT solenoid. I'm going to grab over here. pull it up. There we go. It's a blue gasket on there. Maybe this has been done before. Pretty clean in here. Some varnish. Might have missed an oil change or two, but overall I think it's pretty clean. I am going to tighten up that sensor here. Hopefully it's just loose. You remember when I was unplugging it, I noticed it. Ooh. Okay. I'll try to tighten that up there. No, that sensor's broken. No big deal. Timing chain feels good. No play in the camshafts. I hear a little ticking sometimes when it's cold, so I'm just making sure everything's tight. Anyway, so you're going to want to go with get brake cleaner in a rag and wet the rag with the brake parts cleaner. Go around the whole sealing surface right here where the valve cover gasket's going to touch, all the way around. And also in here too. Clean that up. Remove the silicone right here where the timing cover meets the cylinder head on each side. Clean it off, scrape it with a little razor blade, and then wipe that as well. And before you put the valve cover on, you want to put a little bead over that crack where the timing cover meets the cylinder head. A little bead of engine RTV. It appears that my kit did not come with a VCT grommet. That's fine. Utilizing a pick, I'm going to get the old gasket or seals off of here. Okay. I don't need a pick on this one here. See how it's kind of fallen off already? And someone's been in here and already did this not long ago, I think. That doesn't look too old. Now I'm going to need this pick right here. And I'm going to go in, pull it out, throw it away. And right here, that looks kind of flattened down a little. All right. I'm going to start taking seals out of my kit here and putting them in here. This one has a little loop on it here, so it looks like it's going to be going right here. All right. Pop it down in the ridge, make sure it's fully seated and it's not rolled or anything. Run your finger around it, push down a little bit, not too much. Perfect. And you're going to want to go ahead and repeat that on these two. Oh, they're already done. The miracle of editing. Now get your outer seal on all the way around. Locate this rectangle looking part of the gasket. It goes right into this rectangle provision right here. My gasket was upside down, and the reason, or how I figured that out, was this goes on the provision on this side, and you see this little U shape right here? It corresponds to that shim right here for the bolt. On the other side, when I had it flipped upside down, these U shapes did not line up with the shims over on this side. There's different spacing, but when I flip it over, everything lined up perfectly over here, so I know the gasket's on correctly. So at this point, I'm just going to push it in all the way around. All done. And I went around with a little bit of pressure, make sure it's fully popped in everywhere. Make sure everything's lined up where it should be. And so on. Smear a little dab of engine RTV on the mating surface like I talked about. If I can get that in frame for you, that would be great. There we go. Now I'm going to set the valve cover down. Okay, literally just sat right in place. Make sure when you're putting the cover down that the seal doesn't fall off, the valve cover gasket. Now you can start snugging down the bolts. Start here and here, 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 here. Slowly work your way out to the end and torque it that way. Offhand, I don't know the torque spec, but I would say about 89 inch-pounds. All right, boys, those are all snugged down. I'm going to go ahead and insert the cam sensor. There's a little seal. Make sure it's got some lubricant on it. There we go. Get that bolt in there. It was the one with the Loctite on it from the factory. Snug it down. Got the harness retainers pushed back on, everything connect back up. So let's go ahead and get the spark plugs out. I've got a 3/8 ratchet, extension, and a 5/8 spark plug socket with a rubber insert to hold the spark plug on the socket. I'm going to start with number 1 here. All right. Break it loose. Always take these out by hand and put them in by hand. Once again, make sure your oil has been blown out of the holes. You don't want that to fall into the engine when you pull the plug out. It might hydrolock it. All right, it feels like it's loose. There it is. All right. At this point, I'm going to put my new plugs in. I've chosen to go with some NGKs here, not a sponsor. Put that into the socket. Always start these by hand and tighten them down by hand as well. There we go. I'm going to run that down as far as I can by hand and then snug it up with the ratchet. Just get it snug with a ratchet like this by hand. You don't have to go crazy with it. There you go. That's good enough. And repeat that for all 4 plugs. All right, I do have new boots for the coils. These boots just popped right off of there. Spring in it. That's the old one. I'm going to put a little bit of dielectric grease, a little bit up in there, and I'm going to put a little more up in here before I pop it down on the plug. You'll see. Here's my new boots. It comes with new springs in it. I'm going to pop the springs inside the coil and then slide the boot over it. And I actually may hold off on putting grease in this portion of it. Just put it on where the plug's going to contact. Once again, here's a factory coil that came off my car. Here's one of the springs that came with the boots. Slide it in there. It doesn't pop in or anything, it just sits there. And I'm going to take the boot here, slide it over the spring, goes in the hole, push down, and it's seated all the way. Now I'm going to put some dielectric in here. It's plenty. Take our assembled product here. Let's put it on the car and repeat one by one. Okay, so bolt holes over on the left there. So let's pop this in. Feel for the plug, push down on it. And it's flush down on that nut plate there. Repeat that 4 times. Tighten the coil boots. Connect this up carefully. I'm going to use both hands. Did not want to damage that any more than it was. There we go. That's in. And connect these coils up. Okay. Almost done. All right. VCT solenoid connector. All right. Get this stupid duct back on. Okay. Okay. You're on, and we are on. All right, you guys. We were ready to take this beast with its cold air intake and go drag race some Corvettes and Vipers and own them all. Anyway, thanks for watching. Yeah, I hope this was helpful. You guys have a fantastic day. Okay.